Alright, here it comes. Hello! Let's see what we got. 360 guys. 360 shout-outs. 894 is our leader. Oh, that's the honor rack. 3014. 3014. Whoa! Look at this guy. Wow. RMS News. And, ladies and gentlemen, the voice might sound familiar because it is your boy, Railfan Studios. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Railfan Studios, and I am happy to say that today is the day that the channel now becomes 3 years old. I am very grateful to have every single one of you watching this video, and everyone that watches this video. Love every single one of you all. And today I am going to go ahead and address what the channel has been through in 2024 and what changes come around in 2025. Now, before I get into this video, I am very grateful to say that we have reached a milestone during 2024. We had reached our 200 subscriber milestone, so I want that number to increase up. By the way, let's see if we can reach a total of 300 subscribers somewhere in 2025. So let's see what would happen, but as of right now, this is what we got. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go ahead and get started with talking about the overview. Now, basically, we're changing things up this time around because originally we started off from last year by doing the reflections of what we did back in 2023, but for this year in 2024, I think we should just do the overview and then talk about the changes, what 2025 will contain, because oh man, do we got some changes for the new year in the next couple of days. So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right on into it. So we'll be starting off this list with January. Now, January started off, like, the first 3 months of 2024 was incredibly festive. Like, the first 3 months felt so festive, and we caught trains during those festive months. Like, they were fantastic. So let's talk about them. So let's start off with January. So January, of course, was the month where the channel had changed from what 2023 originally looked, with no background applied to any videos. But then once 2024 rolled around and the first Railfan video that rolled around, I started to use this background right here with a good old effect that also comes along with it. And I'm happy to say that the effect used for the background will be the same in 2025, but with a different background, but I'll talk about that later on. So, for January, we start off with only one train, but start off pretty strong, though, with an SD70 Mac on the head end on CSX C785 in Woodbine, Maryland, at Newport Road, a place that I told you all from last year that I would come back to, and I definitely kept to my promise at that time. Then we move on into February. Now, February was a month of trains that month, because when we move on into February, we got ourselves a total of 8 trains in one weekend. That's right, 8 trains in one weekend, and it was fun. By the way, we got ourselves a total of 2 trains on Friday. One was an auto rack, another was Another one was the mixed freight. Then we actually got 2 coal trains. One that is empty and another loaded, which was also during a train meet as well. Then we got ourselves a ethanol train, and then we got ourselves another loaded coal. Then a mixed freight train that contained chassis system boxcar. Really fantastic catch there. And with a and with, of course, another Autorack to conclude it. Now, I find that kind of ironic, considering that, considering that, mm, that, that the month started off with an Autorack and then a mixed freight, and then it ends off with those two exact trains, except the mixed freight comes first, and then the Autorack comes last. Very ironic there, but yeah, pretty cool. And also, before I move on, I want to go ahead and mention that also in February, I have also made myself my own Deviantart account. Now, of course, my Deviantart claims that I have made it back in 2023, in November or December, around that time, but I actually did in February, because that's when I started making all of my videos, or no, I'm sorry, all of the Deviantart, all the artwork I've done on that website. And yeah, you might be wondering, why do I not have my glasses off? Well, I do now, but I feel comfortable wearing these things during that time. I had to do that pose. Now, anyways, moving on into March. Now, March was the last month of the of all the festive months, because we got ourselves a total of 6 trains in March, and some videos were delayed for certain holidays on that month. Like we got the M372 train in Sykesville with RFNP grain hopper car on CSX M372. I was about to say M332 for a split second there. Then there was another mixed freight. I think that one was also M372 as well. That was caught on a Sunday, but I eventually had to delay that video because, I have delayed those videos because I forgot I filmed them, but I edited them at the right time. So when so later on in March, I found the perfect time to upload those delayed videos onto on St. Patrick's Day and then on Easter. And I think that's what made March feel so festive to me. And that's because it said the entire month was filled with holidays, because we got ourselves St. Patrick's Day and then Easter. But little do you realize that later on in April, the channel would not go through as much. And in fact, little to not at all. But yeah. So when April around, we're talking about April now. Now there's no trains ever caught in this month. Period. No trains ever caught this month. I was busy during that time. I had to do a lot of testing and all that stuff, for school and whatnot. I was busy during April. Let's just put that, to be honest. And then later on, there would be a video I have made of what plans I've got in May or later on in 2024. But later some of those videos would eventually get postponed, and I might still have the chance to release them. It's just I just don't know when that could be the right time. But anyways, so let's move on into our next month on the list. So anyways, moving on, we move on ourselves into May. Now, May, for my personal experience, which I'm not going to address in this video, was very nostalgic on how it ended, but I'm not going to talk about that in this video. So I'm just going to talk about how the channel been doing. Now, I got ourselves a total of 3 trains, and I felt great going back to Railfanning out in the old main line. Like, it felt so great to be back. And we got ourselves a total of I think they were all loaded coal trains. I don't know. I think they all were. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were. No. I got that wrong. No. 2 coals and 1 mixed freight. I'm pretty sure I caught 3 to 4 trains during that month. I don't know. I didn't count the last time. But anyway, so with that all being said, let me go ahead and move right along into June. Now, June for the month. Oh my god. That month was, once again, a very nostalgic one. I graduated from middle school during that time. That was fun, by the way. That was a fun way to send myself off for the summer. But despite all of the nostalgia and everything I had for my personal experience in June, which pretty much mostly takes up my experience with that month. There's only one train I've caught, and it was a mixed freight train with a YM2 SE40-2 numbered 8482 heading to Baltimore, Maryland, or somewhere out to Philadelphia or something, or elsewhere. But yeah, pretty cool train to catch there. And then we move on into July. Now July for the channel, of course, eventually now July, late July, that was when I started to take a break from the channel a lot more often, and that would be an ongoing occurrence later on into late 2024. But even before late July, I have got 3 train videos published, and they were all loaded coal trains. Now that was the part where I'm correct on that one. So yeah, 3 loaded coal trains, and then we would eventually get ourselves then eventually we would move on into August. Now August was a month that was a month mostly of downs for me, because I was about to get into my high school now, since I was about to get into my new community, and I was a bit anxious about getting into my new community. But hey, everyone has that feeling when they're getting into high school and all that stuff. And so but yeah, and also there has been no trains caught during that month, and I of course did not know that I was not going to get any trains during that month. But hey, it was a busy but yet very nerve-wracking month, and kind of radical as well. So yeah, but I did manage to get some videos uploaded during that month, but no trains I actually caught, so guess that's one thing. Now we move on into September. Now September was a bit better than August, because we did go back and catch ourselves some trains. I got 2 trains, but there was actually supposed to be 3 trains if I managed to go out and actually catch that 3rd train, because I was at a bowling alley in Mount Airy, and then got the call of a CSX train, but I didn't really think it was going to be that special. But when I watched Dave Mullis' video of that train that we never got the chance to catch, apparently it did had something very special on it. It had a New York Central Heritage unit on that train, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe I missed out on that video. And I'm like, oh my god, how much views that video must have gotten if I got that train. But sadly, I never got a chance to get it. But don't worry, I am still grateful for what trains I caught this year, because at least we send 2024 off with possibly the best train I think we've caught. But I'll get to that when we move on into December, but we're going to get to that. But then moving on, so yeah, September didn't really have that much videos going on. But then we move on into October, published my birthday reaction, and that was like the only thing I published. just like April, I have published only 1 video, because that was the only thing I had in my mind during that time. So that's one thing. And then afterwards, I originally planned on doing another reaction or other video sometime around when Halloween rolled around, but I never got the chance to do so. But I am happy to say, though, that I at least had got a good month out of October, because October was a very great month. Now I move on into November. Now November, and yeah, just like previously, I'm pretty sure you might already know where this is going. A pattern of trains, no trains, pretty much every time. But yeah, now we're getting into a month that actually does have trains, and trust me, December has it, because I mean, you guys already have seen it already. But anyway, so in November, we caught ourselves a good amount of trains that month. A total of 3. I think it was 2 coal trains. I don't know. And then there was a mixed freight. And that was on a Saturday. And then that was the whole month in terms of Railfanning. Then after that, we move on into December. And I have to say, December, I think for Railfanning, I think we've got the best send-off. Like, we've got the best send-off yet of anything, because we send the month off with a great train, but I'll get to that when I'm done addressing all the other trains. And also, I want to show you all a little something. This might be a bit too much for me to show in the camera, but this is also the first month where where I actually used my tripod here. This is the kind of tripod I use, basically. I'm still new to tripods, and I'm still trying to figure out how to use them properly. But for the most part, I think I pretty much knew how to really maintain them. It's just that I think there's a lot more to get used to even after that time. But yeah, that's one thing. Then moving on. So the first two videos were actually released as one, and they were both loaded coal trains, all at Woodbine, one at Morgan Station, and another at Woodbine Road. And then, of course, when Saturday rolled around, it was raining cats and dogs out there. And I, of course, during that time, I made some rules over when I can't use my tripod. So the only time I cannot use my tripod is when it is raining, because not so sure if the tripod I got is stainless steel or something, but whatever the occasion is, I don't want it to get messed up in the rain. So basically what I did was that I just used my arm, by the way. And that's another thing, by the way. So before I had the tripod, you may have noticed in some previous videos before I had my tripod, the camera would constantly change position to a point where it doesn't get a proper shot of the locomotives. It happens so many times. The list goes on of how much times it happened, but I'm happy to say, though, that now that I've got myself a tripod, the camera can now remain stagnant in one single position, so it doesn't have to go constantly moving all over the place, all willy-nilly, all this stuff like this. This hand here, of course, is the camera. It's going, oh. It's just going all over the place. But that's that. And then, of course, I remembered watching Ryan's video catching that train, and apparently he probably had, like, that at Old Mill Bottom, that had to be the most Railfanners there. There was a total of 8 Railfanners there. The most people there's been at Old Mill Bottom, and I wish I could have been a part of the crowd, but never got the chance to do so, because since I have a relative that lives near the Old Main Line and also near to Old Mill Bottom, we could not catch the train there in time. I mean, I guess we would have a good chance, but the chances of catching the train on time at Old Mill Bottom is kind of slim. But yes, but don't worry, I managed to still catch that train. And really nice train, Canadian National Foreign Power on CSX B773. That was a pretty good one. And now here's the train that obviously I'm grateful for, that sended Railfanning off on possibly the best note possible. We call ourselves CSX C785, I believe, with one of CSX's new heritage units, the Manon heritage unit numbered 1897. Now, I originally said in the video it was Manoon, but it's actually Manon, so there you go. And that had to be the best send-off ever, because out of any of them, I think that had to be the best I think we've ever got in terms of heritage units. It's been a while since I've last caught myself some heritage units, and now we are finally back by catching one of CSX's newest heritage units, and I'm so elated that I managed to catch that train. It was so amazing. Now, before we move on, now that's everything I should mention about what 2024 was in terms of the overview for the channel. Now, before I go ahead and move on to the changes of what the channel would look like in 2025, I originally, of course, want to mention about the reactions, of course. Now, the reactions, of course, came back after 3 copyright claimed reactions, and then afterwards the reactions were out of the door, they were gone. But then in 2023, I decided to bring them back, just to react to non-copyrighted stuff and stuff from other people that don't have any intention with copyright. But however, though, and once 2024 rolled around, reactions have not been doing that so good. Like, I mean, they have not been doing as good. There has not been as much reactions in terms of views this year, but the most recent one, of course, the Escape Remastered one, I think had to be the one that had the most views this year. It's only getting even more views later on, but yeah. So far, I'm still grateful for at least what we've got going on from that time. So with that all being said, I think I've addressed quite enough about what 2024 had been for the channel and what the channel been through during that time, also with myself. Now let's move on into what the channel would look like in 2025. Now, in case you guys do not know, for most of my videos, I have used a city background. I call it the background Taipei 2050. I call it that background Taipei 2050, an amalgamation with what the channel would look like in the new year. And I didn't want 2024 to be the same as 2023 without a background or anything. So I want to spice things up a little bit for the new year. So that's why I added a background there and added a nice monochrome effect where it would get a random color every now and then in a certain area of it. And that was it felt a lot sci-fi, very 2050-esque, and that was a great way to start 2024 off, and especially for the Railfan videos, very great. And I'm happy to say, though, that the same effect previously from 2024's videos will be carried over to 2025. But of course, before 2025 rolled around, I have came to a lot of months of consideration of what the channel would look like in 2025, and a lot of themes popped into my head, like doing the Transcontinental Railroad or doing a Spooky Mansion kind of type, but I didn't feel like that those things would fully fit with 2025, but I'm still planning on recouping those themes for later years, maybe 2026 or 27. But I, of course, came up with a background that I am happy with, and I'm going to show it to you right here when I take the screenshot of it and then edit it. This might take some time for me to do it, but the vibe and theme of 2025 that I came up with would be Crystal Cave right here in between my hands right here. So yeah, this will be the new theme of what 2025 would look like. And of course, I got the screenshot, by the way, from the Roblox game of Retro Western. It still is a mix of Transcontinental because inside that game it's mostly tethered to trains and cars where you can drive them, of course. But however, though, it's not like Westbound where you actually purchase guns and go bounty hunting, or go mining or all that stuff. No, unlike that, that game is Retro Western is more tethered over to cars and trains most of the time. So I recommend you all go ahead and go watch and go play that game, because that is a pretty fun game for the most part, mostly tethered to trains and all that stuff. If you, of course, I know a lot of people might be watching this video that might actually be somewhat that actually know that game, because I've used to play that game all the time. I don't play it that much anymore, but I still do play it to keep myself entertained, as well as Westbound as well. And certain row scale train maps as well. So yeah, so that's what I've got to say, of course, from where I got that screenshot. And also, not just what the channel would look like visually, but also audio changes, of course, in terms of the score this time around. Because originally in 2023, when 2024 was rolling around, I thought maybe changing the score up to new music would sound a lot more better. But I thought maybe, you know what, I just feel comfortable keeping the same score, so why don't we change that every 2 years? So that's exactly what I'm doing, and now that will change now that 2025 is around the corner, and I am planning on to release a new introduction and outroduction when 2025 rolls around. I'll have to get started working on that after this video, but as of right now, there will be some new music for it, and I'm going to release it as a test to make sure that none of it is copyrighted, because I have a feeling for the outroduction I must have chosen some music that might sound copyrighted, but I don't think it really is. But anyways, so with that all being said, though, I'm gonna go ahead and say right now that 2025, in terms of the channel, would be a great year for the channel, visually and of course for the music and all that stuff. Lots of changes are coming next year. So I think that is everything I should mention. So hope you all enjoyed that video, or this video I should say, about the changes of what 2025 will have for the channel and what we've been through in 2024. I can't wait to see what 2025 has to await us with all these new changes, with the new introduction and all that other stuff. You're gonna really see all that good stuff when the new year rolls around. So hope you all enjoyed this video, and just like last year's, I hope you all enjoy this video, and happy birthday to Mike's Railfan Studios, 3rd birthday that is. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and stick around for some more great videos. So stick around and have a great rest of your winter break. I'll see you all for the countdown from 2024 to 2025, and then I'll catch you all on New Year's Day for the introduction and outroduction, and I'm very excited to see how that would pan out once that rolls around. So hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all for the countdown, and then I'll see you all in 2025. This is Microfan Studios signing off. And like last year, I love every single one of you. Hope you have a great rest of your night and your winter break. And I'll see you all next time. This is Microfan Studios, and I love you all. Good night.